Hi there, greetings, Eric Backer, New Zealand naturopath. Thanks for checking out my video. I've got a very interesting question here from a lady called Cheryl in the United States. And Cheryl's asking me a question, Eric, how do I manage my candida? I've got a crazy hectic work schedule. How on earth can I get better? The hours are hectic and I can't quit my job, so please give me some tips. Okay, Cheryl, well, that's a very interesting question, and it's something that I talk a lot about with the different clients that I see on Skype. And we're going to talk about that now as if you're one of my clients right now, okay? So, I've written a list of a few things down here, which we're going to go over, and this is how you're going to manage a candida problem, whether it's a vaginal infection or a gut problem or a skin problem. But this will work for you if you've got a small intestinal bacterial overgrowth or leaky gut or food allergy or any type of a real chronic sort of issue that's been hanging around for a long time. It doesn't really matter what kind of condition you've got. If you follow steps like I'm going to talk about now, you're going to get better. So, first thing I want you to do is first try and assess whether you have candida or not. Okay? So, first thing you do is go and do our questionnaire at yeastinfection.org. So go and check that out, yeastinfection.org. Do my online survey, my quiz, and see what your score is. See what the probability is of you having a yeast infection. That's probably a good starting point. If you're still in doubt, maybe do some checks. A stool analysis is a good way to test for candida, but there are other ways you can assess for a yeast infection as well. So, point 2, you really want to have the desire to get well. There's no point in going after recovery or wanting to feel well if it's half-cocked. Okay, I was going to say half something else, but it's a rude word. I won't say that. So you've got to have the strong desire to really want to get well, or it's not going to happen for you. Okay, this is where many people fail. They're going to take a bunch of pills, they're going to see the doctor, they're going to talk to their mother-in-law, they're going to go to Facebook or YouTube, they're going to try all these different things, and they pay lip service to trying to, get into the wellness zone. They're not really trying to get well. All right, they're not really trying their level best. Now the same goes whether you want to get a degree or whether you want to get a good job or have a good relationship. You've really got to go for it and you've got to give it your best shot, or it's not going to happen. So I assume, Cheryl, that you really want to get rid of this problem, because that's going to help to motivate you and drive you into these other points that we're talking about. Okay? Prioritize your time is point number 3. So you're saying to me here, you've got hectic hours and you can't quit your job. So prioritizing your time is very important. So obviously you can't quit your job, but then you're not going to be working 24 hours a day. I don't think you are. I don't think anybody does that. So in the downtime, you need to look at what things you can do to really build good health. It's pretty difficult though if you've got shift work. You haven't mentioned to me if you're working shifts or if you're just working a 9 to 5. So if you're working a regular day job, then there's every chance in the world that you've got a much better shot at getting well than if you're going to work crazy shifts, rotating shifts. Some people work, do the graveyard shift. They're going to start late and they're going to finish early. They're going to try and sleep during the day, and it's pretty hard to do that. So if you're working a really weird job with weird shifts and long hours or hours all over the place and you're very sick, it may pay for you to get rid of that job because your health is worth more than a paycheck. I'll tell you that much. So prioritize your time. Do the important things in life. Getting lots of sleep, eating well, lots of relaxation. These are all things many people take for granted in their quest to get well. As I mentioned earlier, many people think they can just pop a bunch of pills from the drugstore or from eBay or whatever, and they think they're going to get well. And some people I see take 50 supplements plus. How crazy is that? That's not going to help. Prioritize your time. Cut out all that extraneous crap from your life, all the time-wasting things that you're doing, all the things that you're doing now that are sucking up your time and putting you in this hectic schedule that you're talking about. Right? I read a very interesting statistic just before on the internet that young people spend an average of 50 to 70 times per day. They go, I haven't got my mobile phone yet, it's not important to me, but with young people it's almost like glued to their hand. So they spend a lot of time checking social media feeds, checking this and checking that. When I grew up, we never had any of these darn phones in our hands. We had time. So if you work out 50 to 70 times per day just looking at a mobile phone, well, that's probably an hour gone just checking on stuff. It's a waste of time. Right? So cut out the time wasting. Stop the procrastinating. Stop doing things that are wasting time, sucking up your time and not allowing you to build good health. Another point, I think we're on to 4 now, get better quality sleep. All right. I had a long discussion yesterday with a patient through a Skype consultation who just doesn't really get the point that sleep is one of the most important things you can do if you want to recover. You really need to get good sleep and quality sleep, especially if you're hectic, because I keep looking at this word hectic here in your email. So hectic people need good sleep. That's going to allow you to recover better. Try and keep regular hours. Try and get to bed around 9:30, 10 p.m. Get up around 7. Make a habit. Okay? So habits, healthy habits are very, very important to cultivate. And as I've said many times on these videos, and I'll say it again, people don't decide on their future. They decide on their habits. And the habits will decide on the future for that person. So if you create crappy habits, you've got a crappy future. If you create very good habits and healthy habits, you're going to get a healthy and happy future. It makes sense, doesn't it? Eat better. Better quality food. Hectic people with hectic schedules, with crazy jobs, often will grab food here and there and skip meals and eat at weird times. If you've got a job where you've only got 5 minutes for lunch and the boss forces you to keep working through your lunch break, you need to quit that job. You need to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and have regular meal sessions, and sometimes even snacks in between if you've got a blood sugar problem. Eating good food, getting good quality sleep, drinking water, breathing correctly. These are all basic tenets of naturopathy, of good health. These are basic tenets that many people overlook. Because today we live in an age where we want to pop something and quickly get better. If you don't get the basics right, it's not going to work for you. So I hope that gives you a couple of points there on how to recover. Check out my book, Candida Crusher, Cheryl, because it's got a lot of this information in it, but it's explained in much more detail. And check out my formulations, Canzida, because they're meant to go with the program, which I recommend for people. And that program's helped thousands of people now in over 70 different countries get well, and it's working really well. So I hope that answers some of your questions. I'll just quickly recap on these points. Assess yourself, maybe blood tests or other tests to check out what you've got. Get your goal clearly in sight, and then shoot away, and then try and hit the goal. Okay? Have the desire to get well. Prioritize your time. Cut out the time wasting. Get better sleep. Eat good quality food. And the last point is say no to people. So people put more demands on you. Sorry, can't do that. I'm too busy. Got a crazy job. Can't fit that into my schedule. So don't be afraid to say no to people. All right? Because that's part of the time wasting too. It's giving into other people's needs rather than looking after your own needs first. So I hope those points make sense to you. Click on the link below if you haven't got my report. We'll catch up with you in the next video. Thank you very much.